Okay, for this episode, I just want to give a quick disclaimer. If you are an empath, or you are a reflector, or you tend to carry other people's emotions, I just want you to know that this episode does have some crying in it. So if you feel like you need a space to mimic those emotions, please know this is probably not the episode to listen to at work or with kids in the car. So with that warning, I also want to share with you, because this one came straight from my heart, no script, no planning, it is a little bit longer than our normal 10-minute episodes, but still under 20, still can squeeze this one quick. And also it will save your spot as you go. So don't be afraid to come back if you can't finish it in one setting. All right, let's dive in. Welcome to the Highly Inquisitive podcast, where we embrace the magic of a messy life and adopt the balance is bullshit mindset. I'm your host, Gabs, and I'm here to help you question everything you thought you knew about balancing it all in 10 minutes or less. As a woman who has built a successful life on her terms despite all of life's odds against me, I help you navigate the real stuff, your fears, your self-doubt, and the messy reality of actually chasing your dreams. Loving life doesn't mean life gets easier, but it certainly means it gets more enjoyable and we can stop feeling so freaking overwhelmed in the process. Let's go create a life that's anything but boring. Sorry, I am sorry. I didn't know how to be a mom to me. That is the title of the chapter of the book that makes me an officially published author. And I did my interview for the podcast with Women Thrive for my author journey today. And it didn't come to me until I started having that conversation when I said, I wrote my chapter first before I could give it a title. Because to be honest, I knew my story was going to be about my healing journey, but I didn't know what parts of it or why or the lesson was going to be. And I journaled tonight about just how many synchronicities are happening in my world or coincidences. I think I heard it today on Instagram, winks from God, whatever it is that you resonate with, those little tiny joys that give you that push to keep going, just keep happening around here. I decided to pick back up this book. Your second life begins when you realize you only have one. So I'm casually reading, trying to wind down for the night. And I said, I just want to finish chapter 13. And it was the longest chapter so far in the book. And so for those of you that are readers, you know what that's like. You're so enthralled, but also your brain's kind of checked out. So you're ready to put it down. And so you just keep telling yourself, okay, at the end of this chapter, I'm going to put it down. And then it feels like that's the one chapter that the end of it never comes. That's exactly how this was. And there is an exchange that comes about to deal with the little girl inside of you. And this has been hitting so close to home lately, though I just haven't had the words. My husband was right again. Denver is my mini-me, but on a much deeper level than I ever knew. You see, she is our most difficult child. And to be no bars held around the truth about that, she's difficult in a lot of ways. She has medical complications that have quite literally turned our world upside down multiple times. And that is so challenging. So challenging. But also, she has this unwavering, unapologetic authenticity about herself and her dreams and who she wants to be combined with the rationalism of a toddler. The complete opposite of anything that is go with the flow, which is hysterical because going with the flow is the only way I want to live my life now. And that little tiny human has been put in front of me to remind me what pure chaos I would be living in if I didn't change my life. If I did not change how I personally looked at and experienced my life. Because I see her chaos play out every day. The type A perfectionist in me had no chill, no go with the flow. I created so much chaos in my life. And multiple times in the last week, I had another quantum leap, another reminder, another very guttural reaction that I am stepping into this next weightless version of me. But I also kept saying, there's something I'm missing. There is something that is still holding me back. And I could not put my finger on it. I had dealt with some really heavy things. A relationship turned marriage that started at the age of 15 had a lot of growth that needed to be worked through. And a medically ill child, and having a child that's already been cremated, and having parents that I struggled to truly build relationships with as an adult, and coming to my ownership in that relationship. I've dealt with some really heavy stuff, and I've been really aggressive at just chasing progress and loving my life again. That has truly been my North Star and my focus. But I knew there was something missing, and I couldn't put my finger on it until I read, it's important to reassure that part of you that is frightened and suffered in the past. If you do, you'll become reconciled to that important piece of yourself. So how do you reassure the little girl inside you? You sit down quietly in a corner and talk to her gently, the way you do with your own child. You can tell her you love her, that you'll always be there, that she can rely on you. The final piece that I had not dealt with, and not because I refused to or because I was scared to, but because I didn't know or I wasn't ready, was showing childhood Gabs. Which, by the way, that's where Gabs actually came from. Was my childhood nickname. And showing her the future her. And letting her know that it all worked out. And that all the joyful years I missed out on, I found how to have joy again. And we're going to be playful and weightless, and we are going to live feeling so stable in this world. And it's okay. Gabs, it's okay. I didn't have a script for this episode. I'm so emotional because this literally just happened. It's 11 o'clock at night and I should be sleeping. And instead, I was called to come sit in the dark at this computer in front of this microphone because one of you listening needed to know that it's okay, that you have walked through the deepest, darkest parts of what's broken, and you've done the work, and you just still feel stuck. You feel like those cycles of up and down and the addiction of constantly juggling yourself in and out of fight or flight mode, I encourage you to go sit down and spend time with your inner child. There's something she needs to hear from you in order to finally shed that weight. You cannot go higher. You cannot keep growing and becoming this evolved, expansive version of yourself with dead weight holding you down. Go spend time with her. There have been 2 times in my 6-year healing journey that my inner child has come up. 2 times out of 6 years. So very low encounters here. And the grand scheme of the wildest in everything that I have tried to heal. First time was at the Success Becomes Me conference. I met my inner child and I let go of any ill will or perceived challenges of my childhood. Because no, while it was not perfect and it was not everything I would have ever dreamed of for my childhood or for my own children, it was mine. It was my journey. It made me who I am today because my lived experiences are what make me so unique. And that breakthrough changed how I put my magic out in this world. So much so that I went and joined the board of the organization that runs the Success Becomes Me conference because I was so moved. And then the second time, tonight, inside of the book, your second life begins when you realize you only have one. I read that simple paragraph and burst into immediate tears because I realized my affirmations I've been saying for the last 7 months are: I am safe, I am stable, I am strategic, I am successful. And the safety and stability have been hard. As a matter of fact, they are the hardest right now that they have ever been in my adulthood. And I feel the most peace, the most joyful, the most strategic, focused version of myself that I can ever remember. And so while safety and stability do not look like the consumerism versions, they damn sure are the soulful versions. And that little girl who has struggled with her mental health for as far back as she can remember, that little girl needed to know it's okay. And she needed to know I finally won the battle. Thank you for connecting with me on this episode of Highly Inquisitive. Remember, life is messy, balance is bullshit, and you are capable of amazing things. But wait, before you leave, I have to share this with you. I just opened the doors to the Overwhelmed and Over It Pay What You Can community. This is the space I'm holding for you when you're ready to ditch the overwhelm and create a life that feels authentically yours. And I want you to know I'm here to support you, cheer you on, and remind you that you're never alone in the chaos. Sometimes you just need a little guardrails and a little support on the journey. Head to gabshayes.com/community, and I'll also drop the link in the show notes to grab your spot. I'd love to help you chase your dreams one messy step at a time.